How are you?
I'm good, Ryan. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. So, I know like we've been talking a little bit, and you were telling me about that you're from India. Explain everything about India to me.
It's an incredible country. Okay? The country of 1.2 billion people, and it's second throughout the entire globe. You know, second in population to the entire globe, and it's first in export of many materials, like meat, beef, and that kind of stuff. So the country, I'm from the southern region of India, which is from a small city known as Hyderabad, and it is popular to be known as the city of rulers. So I should say 70 years ago, before we got independence, it was ruled by kings of 7 generations for 300 some years. And so we have many archaeological monuments, and which you can enjoy, and those are things you will hardly find across anywhere. So yeah, it's an interesting place, and India basically is popular for many cultures, many religions, and many dialogues. So I should say roughly we have 150 dialogues and probably 100 plus religions practiced in India. And the most populated religion in India is Hinduism, which comprises of 75% of population in India. So yes, and we are famous for our food. The delicacies we have. It's because of many cultures and religions. We have every culture their own food and their own delicacies and different ways of making it. Even it's vegetarian, regardless of vegetarian, non-vegetarian, it's everything. So yes.
That's very awesome to hear. That's some stuff about India I've never even known about. With you coming all the way over here to the States, you must miss your family very dearly. What do you do to interact with your family from being so far away?
Oh yes, I do miss my family every day. It's in regards of my comfort. I was in my own cocoon, and I used to have everything ready. But right after coming here, I have to do everything by my own. So that's the first thing I miss from my back home. And the second of that's part of So and finally I'm responsible now.
Exactly.
And yes. And second thing is about my parents, of course. I mean, it was 25 years. I never left my home, not even for studies. I did my everything, bachelor's and master's there. That was very close to my house and with my parents, and now happens to be came all the way here. I do FaceTime. I do, yes, every day.
It's always good.
Yes, every day has to. So it takes 10 to 15 minutes of my time, and it refreshes me. It keeps me going throughout the day, and I miss my people. I should not say my people. Everybody's mine, but especially when you see your faces, your friends across there, and you track them, and those times and stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome to hear, and that's really good that you're getting to communicate with your family being so far away. With you coming all the way to Davenport, Iowa, it must have been cold. What were some of the biggest challenges that you feel like that you've had to adapt to since being here?
Oh, the biggest one was, of course, the weather, as you mentioned, about the cold. I never had experienced this negative temperatures. So when I was here in my first winter, it was negative. It went down to negative 10 or something. So yes, negative 20, negative 10 in Fahrenheit is somewhere negative 20 in Celsius. So we go by Celsius there. So I never even thought about the least we get colder. It's 45 Fahrenheit there. No, it was much below that. So I have to adapt it, and it took me whole year, season after season, and the second thing was the culture. So culture here is it's a very fast pace. Even somebody's walking by by you on a sidewalk, they just say you hi and they ask you how's it going, and they just keep going. They don't even stop to ask and to interact with you. But it's not like that. I mean, it was totally different there. If somebody's, first of all, nobody does it there what it does it here. Like, when you're passing by on a sidewalk, nobody greets you. They just go. I mean, if they know you, they'll stop and they, greet you and they give you time. But here, it's a good sign that you are interacting with people, getting socialized, but very fast. You just go. So that's kind of thing I have learned very first, maybe in 6 months, and of course the language. Of course, there is always a difference of accent, and so we don't speak English every day in our daily routines because we have many languages because of religions and regions. We do speak regional languages and our own mother tongue. So it's it varies. So I have to make myself speak English on a regular basis. And so these were the things I have gone through, and these were like my biggest challenges.
And what's very interesting is you say one of your biggest challenges was English, and I'm going to tell you this, man, you're speaking very fluently to me. I know if I went to India, they probably wouldn't know what I'm saying if I tried their language, so props to you, man. That's an awesome thing.
Thank you.
So with you coming over here and then trying to adapt to English and everything, I understand you chose the MLO program. So what made you want to choose the MLO program?
Honest with you, I never had. I never know what is it about leadership. You just have to look it up. You just always, if you see a new word, you just look it up on Google and you see, okay, this is what it's all about. But no, leadership is very different. What you see on a Wikipedia, on Google, anywhere. So I mean that was the first class which I took was in the MOL was 501, and that changed my whole perspective of studying MOL. Only thought was that I was experimenting with leadership for the very first session, which was with MOL 501, and it made me get interest and made myself put into the leadership program that I dedicated my whole time now. So that was the biggest reason to carry on in a leadership program. The foremost was just to explore. And I always thought leadership is management and management is leadership, but no, it's very different. So there's a vast difference.
Well, that's very good to hear. And so with you talking about the MLO program, what do you think is one of the biggest things that you've gotten out of this program that you're going to use in your everyday life?
First and foremost is communication. See, what I've learned so far, especially from the class I'm taking this session, I'm taking 2 classes, which is dialogical skills and conflict management. Both deals with communication. First is with how to initiate communication, how you keep it going, and then if you get into an argument, how to resolve the conflict. So I mean, it's all about deep into it. How you make yourself, how you present yourself to a person, to understand what you're saying and how effective it is on that person. So I mean, to me, communication is all about this ML program.
That's very awesome, and I know what's crazy is you were talking about one of your adaptive challenges of coming over here was learning English, and then out of this MLO program, you're getting communication out of it. It's one of your biggest things. And I know we were talking previously, and you were telling me about this committee that you do in Moline. Now, tell me how you're using your communication skills and everything in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, my job in Moline is a volunteer job for a youth committee, so we deal with kids, it's from first grader to high school kid. So, communication is a very important and essential part in that. So if you do not go down to your knees and talk to them as they understand, then there's no point of leading them, you just giving them and authorizing them, well, I should say commanding them, in other words, commanding them just to do, and they might do it for the first day or the second, but not in consistency. So if you have to keep them doing it consistently, you have to make them understand. You have to you have to understand them, you have to listen to them. I mean, the other aspect of communication is also listening. So I mean, I have learned, I've put into practice, I've implemented my lessons from here, what I've learned into my daily routine. I started listening to people, especially to kids. You always think, when somebody is younger to you, you don't even listen. Oh, you think, oh no, he doesn't know, because he's just younger to me, and I'm older and I have much experience than him, and why should I listen to him? No. When you listen to a younger person, even though, regardless you think he doesn't know, you got to listen. So that's the important thing, I think communication teaches you.
That's awesome, man. Like you were saying, with you learning English and then coming over here in communication, now you're working with a committee. That's awesome, man. So one of the things that I also want to talk about, so with you doing all these things, what's something that you want to do after the MLO program?
Honestly, I have plans laid out. I have my IT master's to be on the track, and I'm halfway through, almost about to complete. So I would be moving forward to that, and I would get IT master's degree as well, so that I would have, it also deals with management stuff, leadership. The whole master's was specifically dealing with leadership and managing through leadership. So, but that program is about management. So I would have two streams to lead. To look for the jobs in future if I have to. So yes, I would complete my IT masters and then look for a job.
Man, you sound a lot smarter than me doing the IT and all that. That's something I definitely could not do. So I'll give you props to that.
Thank you.
So with you wanting to do your IT and everything, give me some things with the IT program that you like to do with the IT.
Oh, see, that program is about managing IT companies, how you deal with companies which run into a situation like issues like with security systems and like dealing with people, of course, like dealing with teams. How do you manage projects dealing with people? How do you maintain it consistently without slacking? So it's more about management. It's kind of an MBA in IT, in other words. So it's not about accounting and stuff. It doesn't deal with finance stuff, but of course it deals with management. So yes, and hearing from IT, most people can get confused with the technical stuff in management, but this is not related to technical. This is all about management.
That's awesome, and you're talking about people skills and leadership, and talking about management as well. So that seems like something the MLO program is going to be perfect for that. And so I know you were talking about leadership and your IT program. That's awesome, man. I know there's big things headed your way, and I'm glad we got to have this conversation.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Look at you guys go.